I've lived long enough to see the coming and going of a number of well-meant fads in the American church. I remember in the 1970s, everybody wanted to be the pastor of a New Testament church. And then it was the Willow Creek model. And then later in the 90s, it was the purpose-driven model. And today it's missional, and there's a bunch of other models. And they're all good models. But that is exactly what they are, just models. They are a style of doing church that may have gained great traction in some places and failed miserably in others. Pastors and churches tend to become fad program driven because they want to have the same impact on their communities as the one they admire. I know that siren call because I had a shelf full of 3-ring notebooks and resources I bought at their conferences. And I'm not saying that you're wasting your time trying to learn from good leaders, but fad program churches largely stay stuck in their own growth and impact because one size does not fit all. And this constant shifting from one thing to another merely discourages your congregation from taking anything seriously and from being the church. As I heard myself, it's the pastor's vision. They don't own it. They're not going there with you. You're on your own. So here's what you need to understand if you are fad-driven, if you have fad programs going on your church, constantly shifting, trying to make your church grow out of this stuck position it's been in. The key to understanding what your church needs is to avoid looking at the latest wave of how to do church right. And instead, you need to develop a strong ecclesiology. And ask yourself questions, how do you understand Christ as the head of the church? Or what is your role as one called to lead this local expression of Christ's church? And what is your church's place and calling in Jesus' kingdom? I mean, this is his kingdom, so what is your role in that? How has he gifted you as the pastor of a local expression of the church? And what is your church's mission in light of all this? You are in a unique situation. So as you bring your ecclesiology to bear, you want to say, we need to be theologically driven to be the church where we are. Now here's 3 things that will help you from going from model to model to model. The first thing is to answer the question, what is the biblical culture I want to see emerge in this congregation? What are the key components of what it means to be church in this congregation? And of course, it should be for the glory of God. And certainly it should be that we want to be transformational. And we don't want to be an audience, we want to be an army. But you need to clarify that in your own mind so that you can teach this to your congregation so they'll embrace it with you and rather than a model. Culture is different than a model. Secondly, what is the unique harvest field surrounding us right here in this place? How can we best reach it? This is our community. It's not Chicago, it's not New York, it's not Los Angeles, it's not Miami. Wherever we are, this is our place, and the community around us is whom we've been called to reach, and we need to reach it in the ways that will impact this community, not some community somewhere else. Thirdly, and this goes right along with this, what is the one thing, not dozens of things, what's the one thing that we could do that would improve our outreach in this community? So often we're trying to do so many things, change multiple things at the same time, trying to find the right combination of programs and outreaches, so much so that we exhaust ourselves. And instead of thinking about multiple things, what's the one thing that we could do in the next 90 days that would really make an impact on this community and help us to accomplish the purpose for which we are here in this community? Instead of something that is here today and gone tomorrow, establish a model for your congregation that will guide them for the next generation, for the next 15, 20 years. And if you do that, you will get out of the mode of being a fad church and become the kind of church that makes an impact in your own community. The next stuck church I'm going to talk about is the mismatched church.